In one previous lesson, I told you that one of the powers of the logarithm was to transform functions that are exponential in nature into something that is more manageable to deal with. That's where this lesson is all about. So some curve graphs are very hard to plot and analyze, as the y data is spread over very large values, especially comparing with straight line graphs. However, there are ways to modeling these graphs into straight lines, and we do this using logarithms. This technique may be used for two types of graphs. The first type is this type of graph, in which you have y equals k x to the power of n, in which k is a constant, and this one, y equals k a to the power of x, again, where k is a constant. Let's see how it works for both of them, starting with this one. Imagine that you have something like this, an exponential, and you want to transform this into a straight line. What you have to do, you have to undo the exponential by applying its inverse, which is a logarithm. In order to do that, you have to apply the logarithm to both sides of the equation. That's what we do over here. I use the logarithm base 10, but you can use any other logarithm, namely the natural logarithm, which we are going to talk about later. So if you do that, this is what you get. Logarithm of y equals logarithm of k x to the power of n. And now it's time to apply those rules of logarithms that I taught on a lesson before. You have a product of two values in this logarithm, so you can transform into the sum of each one. And then you have here the logarithm of x to the power of n, which is basically n times the logarithm of x. You can rearrange this into something like this. Logarithm of y equals n times logarithm of x plus logarithm of k. And if you pay attention to this, you can see that this is indeed a straight line, in which this is what you plot on the y-axis, this is what you plot on the x-axis, this is going to be the gradient of the straight line, and this is your y-intercept. So what have you done? You have transformed something that is exponential in nature into something that is basically a straight line, much easier to deal with. Let's see how this is used, but now for this type of graphs. So you start with this, you do the same thing. You take logarithms on both sides. So you have logarithm of y equals logarithm of k a to the power of x. You just divide these two again. And now you apply the rule of the powers to this logarithm, and you have basically this: logarithm of y equals x logarithm of a plus logarithm of k. Again, this is what you put on the y-axis. This is what you put on the this is what you put on the x-axis. Your gradient is going to be the logarithm of a, and your y-intercept is going to be the logarithm of k. In both situations, if these are constants that you need to figure out, once you get the gradients and the y-intercepts, you are going to be able to calculate the value of those constants. If we want to test if a certain relationship may be modeled as a line, we need to plot a graph after applying the logarithms and check if a straight line can be drawn. This is the standardized method to see if the relationship is true or not. If you want to check if this relationship is true or this relationship is true, whatever it is, you apply the logarithms, you plot the points with the provided data, and if the points that you plot, you can draw a line of best fit through those points, then you have proven that the relationship is correct. I've mentioned this a couple of times, saying that I will bring this up later on, and this is it. What is the natural logarithm? I talked about this number e, and this number e is a number, is an irrational number, the same way that pi is an irrational number. Where does it come from? You learned last year that if you get the gradients under not the gradients, if you get the 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 integrals of lines under some lines, this corresponds to the area between that line and the x-axis. So if you try to get the integral of 1 over x, and you want beforehand that the area of it is 1 unit, starting with value 1, what value would you need to write over there so that the result is 1? By solving this, we can figure out that we get a value that is called e. E is the base of a logarithm and is now called the natural logarithm. And if we apply this value e to the base of a logarithm, then that logarithm is going to have a special name. It's called the natural logarithm and is represented by ln. This is not very fancy. E is a number, okay, the same way that pi is a number. And everything that we mentioned about logarithms is now applied over here. You don't need to be worried about the fact that you never use the value e. It's just a number like any other number, okay? If e, on the other hand, is the base of an exponential function, it doesn't have a special name. It is just called the exponential function, okay? If a question just mentions about the exponential function, so you know that the base is e. It doesn't have any special fancy name. Again, the one is the inverse of the other, and all the rules that I mentioned before are applied the same way over here. So there's nothing more you need to know about the natural logarithm than what you already knew about any other base for logarithms or exponentials for that matter.